Alright, so today we're going to be breaking down Rob the Bank's $789,000 per month sales funnel. I'm not going to try to sound smart here by using any kind of fancy words or anything like that. I'm just going to give you the exact value you came to this video for, which is to know exactly how he gets traffic, nurtures that traffic, and then converts that traffic into paying customers. And so without any further ado, I don't want to waste any of your time, so let's just get straight into the funnel breakdown. We're going to start this funnel breakdown off by breaking down his TikTok at 303.4 thousand followers. The internet's rich uncle. That's a little bit of his personal brand. Obviously, you can do that with any single bio. You can just choose a phrase that you like. For example, Shelby Sapp. Her bio is literally just your sales mom, which doesn't really make any sense, but it resonates with her ICP, and they can kind of understand exactly what she's doing from that. As you can see, Rob is getting very low average views on the TikTok at 2,500 all the way up to maybe 10K at the max. And then every once in a while, when a video goes decently viral, it'll go up 200 to 300K. But obviously, the way that TikTok actually works is that TikTok will never really push the content that you post out to your huge audience, right? So maybe 3,000 of these 303,000 people are going to see one of his videos at the start. This video, for example, got stopped at 2,500 views. This video got stopped at 8,000 views. This video got stopped at 20,000 views. This video keeps getting going up at 200,000. This video got to 300,000, and this just keeps going up in levels. And basically, your TikTok has to beat each of those levels incrementally before it can actually be recommended to as many people as physically possible. That's why TikTok is really bad for nurturing your existing audience, but it's extremely good for getting new people into the funnel very, very quickly. For the actual content, Rob is making a ton of raw and authentic talking head style videos, just like all those huge Miami gurus you see everywhere. The reason everybody makes this is because it's extremely low effort, requires literally no editing, and it's extremely easy to make. Plus, it has been proven to work time and time again. He also sometimes makes these responding to TikTok videos where he's literally just responding to a TikTok either through a video and kind of just making fun of the guy who left a hate comment. The best performing videos on average are these specific videos that are actually just either clips from his long form content or they're specially made short form content that are actually reposted off of his reels and YouTube shorts. And these are very high production with a lot of editing and everything like that. And I'm assuming this probably cost him like up to $50 to make one video. And so that's why his production quality for all of these specific videos is extremely high. But as you can see, the talking head videos are the absolute boss in the info space right now, getting these insane views for him on average, and they're extremely easy to make. And people just love that raw and authentic feel for content, which I will get into in a little bit because this is going to be even more important in the section where we talk about YouTube as well. And so speaking of the other social medias, let's just get straight into the big brother of the TikTok, which is actually the Instagram. The Instagram is usually treated the same as the TikTok, which makes absolutely no sense because it's extremely different from the TikTok. The only resemblance is that they both have short form content. He has 814,000 followers on his main account on Instagram. Now this is his main account. He has actually a second account as well. Robert Oliver. After that, he's linked his Threads and then Poet with Motion, which I personally don't really understand because you don't really get anything out of that. So I'd love if he could change that up a little bit, but maybe that speaks to his audience. Maybe people who've seen his reels and stuff like that know him by that, but I'd personally recommend he makes something that's easier to understand for more people, because the only people that are really going to be curious about you enough to go ahead and check out your bio are really only people who are not following you right now and they are just curious to understand what the hell you actually do. So you should make it as easy as possible for them to understand that. He then links to $1 Million Brand Club and Killsack. Now Killsack is actually his line of clothing that he is endorsed for a very long time. And then he's also got the $1 Million Brand Club, and now this is where we're actually mainly going. But before we get into the $1 Million Brand Club and everything like that, I have to go ahead and show you exactly where this link is. Now, most of you probably noticed that this is a Forbes link, not a Calendly link or anything like that. And the reason is it's literally just linking to Forbes.com because he has a article written about him. His basic backstory is that he exited a company for like $30 million. And this whole article is actually covering that entire thing. But basically what this article is just a ton of social proof and a ton of undeniable proof that he is who he says he is. On the story highlights, there's just a ton of basic story highlights. This is about his AI. This is about his obviously results with the students. Start here is literally just explaining exactly what you need to do, what he posts on his page and everything like that. This could be removed depending on what kind of brand he's going for, but I'm assuming that he's probably trying to get people to just be engrossed in his funnel as fast as physically possible. That's why he's added the start here story highlight, which is obviously going to result in more conversions, but it's also a little bit more clutter on the story highlights, which I personally don't like doing with any of my clients, because analysis paralysis kicks in and people don't want to look through your story highlights and everything like that. The My Brand story highlight is just exactly what his brand is about, what he stands for, his ideals and everything like that. This is building a little bit of personalization because we now understand what this brand stands for and we have a reason to follow him right away, which is a really, really good thing, especially if your brand ideal attracts your ideal customer profile. If your brand ideal does not attract your ICP, would just be a really bad brand ideal, and you should definitely change it up. So having this here is a no-brainer. I really like how he's added here. My story is just his entire story from zero to hero. The reason stories are so good is because usually you would sell products that are servicing your older self, I guess, and coaching your older self or your younger self. And so having your story here, especially for info products, it basically adds a ton of areas where people can relate to you and they can, start empathizing with you and knowing that you actually went through the same suffering, the same pain, same confusion, the same exact struggles as them, instead of just being born into wealth or just getting lucky. For the actual reels that he's posting onto this Instagram, it's the exact same overly edited stuff as the other account, as you can see on TikTok. Every once in a while, he'll have a very raw and authentic video that he films right here. This is building a little bit of humanity, getting people to relate to him and everything like that. And obviously this is really, really good because, again, raw and authentic content gets people to relate to you, gets them to know you better, and humanizes you, which is extremely, extremely, extremely important. If you just put your persona of being the super serious guru type person, then you're just instantly going to be hated by everybody because you just feel like you don't have a soul. All you have is business. And so if you have any hobbies, personal habits, anything you like doing, share that on your page. By sharing that on your page, you just instantly relate to the people who like that stuff. If somebody doesn't like that stuff, then cool, they were not meant to be your ideal customer anyways, because they won't be able to vibe with you even when they buy your product, which just results in bad results. Bad results will then result in bad client reviews, which will mean less clients coming into your program. For the pinned videos, he's promoting a little bit of his music right here on the first one. He's also explaining his whole story and also linking to a video sales letter on his YouTube in this video right here, making $1 million on TikTok Shop in less than 12 months, which is an extremely good case study because he's just going over his story and the results he's gotten with undeniable proof of dashboard screenshots, reloading the dashboard and everything like that. And then also welcome to my $15 million mansion, which is again more lifestyle content, building a ton of social proof, and it's also showing off the dreamland, exactly where the customer wants to go, and you're showing that you are already there, and thus you could probably help them get there. And obviously by showing off this expensive stuff, you build authority, because how else would you be able to afford the stuff unless you actually made money from what you are doing? Obviously, at this point in the info space, there's a lot of trust issues. So because of that, some people will automatically think that your success is due to your info product selling. And so you kind of have to tread the line in between being overly lifestyle, overly guru-like, and then overly just chill and ruining all of your authority. So you have to kind of tread that line with your content, which is extremely important. And you can basically take an example of one of these huge guys. They're basically following the same posting strategy of 5 reels that build authority or 4 reels that build authority, and then 1 reel that is casual or lifestyle. Very, very simple. Obviously for lifestyle, you can also just use stories. I personally like using stories for my clients because they're just less imposing and they will only reach the people who are already engrossed in your funnel, only having the best desired outcome. Anyways, I did mention that there is a second account on the Instagram, and that is actually the $1 Million Brand Club account, which is linked again right here. On this account, he has 73.4 thousand followers. You don't need a mentor, you need source access. $1 Million Brand Club is actually his coaching community. In the story highlights, he has open a brand, community, and success. Community is just a little bit of tidbits from the $1 Million Brand Club and explaining exactly what it would look like if you joined and exactly what perks you get. Success is just a ton of wins and student results. Building a ton of social proof, and start a brand is just the big story highlight, story sequence, CTA, that's going to get people to actually convert and buy his course, or sorry, community. This account is on average getting lower views than the main account, obviously because he has less followers. Obviously at the same time, he's probably making way more money off of this account than the other one, just because he's selling a high ticket offer here. He's also posting the same exact type of content here as the other account, following the exact same strategy with the one raw and authentic talking head video, and then the 4 or 5 other super serious, super authority building and value driven videos that are over edited as well. I'm not going to bore you by constantly saying the same thing over and over again, but that's basically exactly what the Instagram would look like. It's kind of the exact same as this one, except it's just adapted more so towards converting them into his community as well. And now let's move into one of the biggest social medias of them all, which is the YouTube. And the reason the YouTube is so powerful is because it's extremely good for nurturing. And obviously you will probably see that the videos are like 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and 4 minutes long. And I really dislike the fact that he's made these videos very short. But the reason is probably because his ICPs, like attention span, is extremely low. So for these main value driven videos, he's made them extremely short. And he's also probably trying to discuss only 1 or 2 points per video so he can keep on posting as much as physically possible as well. Because as you can see, he's posting very, very consistently, like about 3 times a week, even sometimes, with these shorter videos. He doesn't just have these extremely short videos though, he also has extremely long ones going up to 30 minutes to even up to an hour long videos. This is actually an extremely interesting thing right here. This movie, he actually made an entire 1 hour long movie documentary-esque thing, which was extremely persuasive because it's coming back to the same point that stories are extremely persuasive and relatable to human beings because we think in stories. It's kind of like when you think about your to-do list for the day, you are making up a story that you're going to go ahead and do task A first, task B then, and then how you're going to do task C connected to task B. For example, if you had to go to Whole Foods for task B, which was getting groceries, and then after that you had to go down to the USPS down the street to deliver a package, then instead of planning the route from your house to the USPS, you would plan the route from your house to the Whole Foods for task B first, and then plan the route from Whole Foods to USPS for task C. That was a bit of a roundabout example, obviously, but hopefully you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. And so because these stories are extremely relatable and the actual viewer quality on this video is extremely good, because nobody's going to watch an hour-long video unless they really, really like you, he's probably got huge conversion rates on this singular video, and I'm banking that he's made at least 100 grand purely off of this video at the minimum, with all of the views that it's getting and how good it is at conversions. It has probably skyrocketed way past that. So it's a very, very good investment to make something like this. But obviously you got to make sure that it's an actually good quality product. You can't be churning out garbage content. Even if it's an hour long, nobody's going to watch it unless they like it. This movie was kind of a one-off thing though. He's also mainly making longer form lifestyle content instead of this kind of value driven content for the longer form. Lifestyle content is just obviously a ton of lifestyle content, building a ton of authority, literally basically no value, except every once in a while he give away tidbits and tips and tricks that you can use and implement into your own business. But they're mainly just to show that I have a ton of money. Here's how you can get it too. And I know the secrets. So just buy my community and you'll also get those secrets. This is obviously the tried and tested method for getting conversions into your community and getting people to buy your course or your mentorship, because it's just simply that good. It's nurturing people. It's getting them to know your lifestyle. It's building a little bit of humanity inside you. You're getting them to relate to you. You're showing off the dreamland. You're showing that you're already there. It's just a ton of pros for making this kind of lifestyle content, and I wholeheartedly support it. If you haven't watched my Samuel Onaha video, he also uses this stuff extremely, extremely well. And you can probably watch it somewhere above my head. It's probably like blinding me here as well. Anyways, for the description of the YouTube, I'm not even a real person is the only description, and this is actually going on brand with what he usually says. And obviously this is just his personal brand, so you can literally substitute this with whatever you want. You just need to make up some kind of phrase that you support, some kind of idea, belief, or something like that that you personally support, and just slap it onto your description or something like that. For the links, he's linking to his Instagram, his Twitter, and then he's also linking to the music channel, which we'll get into the Twitter in a little bit. The music channel is obviously just his entire music playlist and everything like that. And the Instagram he's linking to is actually the main Instagram right here, instead of the secondary conversion focused Instagram, because he has the most followers on here. So he wants to build that authority first. They will then check out the $1 Million Brand Club, after which here they will be mainly converted into actually buying his course. But obviously, even though he could link mainly to this Instagram, he links to the main Instagram because the content, first of all, still does work and builds a ton of authority. And then when they check out the $1 Million Brand Club, they'll feel like they're a bit of a private community and they're super small. And he is specifically curating this content for them, which obviously just builds a little bit of scarcity, and it's also building a ton of exclusivity, even though it's not very exclusive. It's very, very commoditized. But just having those small little features within your brand makes an extremely big difference. Now, this is not actually where the YouTube rabbit hole ends. Now, YouTube is an extremely powerful platform, and I feel like Rob the Bank has literally used it to its fullest. Now, Robert has done some insane stuff on here. This funnel for his YouTube, although it doesn't look it, is extremely deep. This funnel genuinely shocked me, and it's probably one of the best funnels I've seen in quite a while. And honestly, if Rob just had a greater audience on his YouTube, like for example, right here, he only has 74K subscribers, which obviously is a big following, but it's not enough to be hitting those $1 million months. That's why I've kind of estimated his monthly earnings to be around about 789K a month through my personal estimates and a ton of internal sources that have connections to him that I have personally talked to. Anyways, I'm not going to try to bore you here. Let's just get into the main sauce and dig in. So there's actually two funnels I want to break down. One is the actual story funnel, so the documentary funnel right here, the hour-long movie, and then also just the main funnel that he has for his entire YouTube. Now on his entire YouTube funnel, you'll see that every single video that you click on in the bio, it's the exact same strategy as Iman Gaji with his VSL funnel, and Rob is one of the only people who's actually done this right. Because a lot of people just stuff like 6 links in their bio along with this funnel, which is just stupid because this is not the purpose of the funnel. The funnel's whole purpose is to not have any links in the bio so you can avoid YouTube stopping your content from getting pushed, and in return get more views because you're increasing your total session watch time. But as you can see, the CTA is want to know how you can build a $30 million brand with no followers, just like I did. Watch this next, how to start a $30 million brand with 0 followers. He is then going to link into his VSL, which is about an hour long, which is again a very, very long VSL, and just packed with a ton of value right here. And although he has this separate YouTube VSL funnel here, he also has another funnel for his new movie right here, which is going to just be a link in the bio to join the TikTok shop Gold Rush and start your $1 million brand. As you can see, the bio is like a mini landing page. It's literally just trying to get people to click on the link. And now when you click on this link, whether it be from the VSL right here, the YouTube VSL, or you click on it through this main YouTube funnel right here as well, you will be sent to this page. Now I'll break down that page in a second. I also want to break down the links on the VSL as well. Now the links on the VSL are just a ton of affiliate links, which is making him even more money from this VSL. At 86,000 views, a ton of people have probably clicked on his affiliate links, and he has made probably a metric ton of money off of them. Like Callow Data, Jungle Scout, Helium 10, literally every single link that he discusses in that video is an affiliate link, which is getting him a commission. And these commissions alone are probably earning him metric tons of money. Looking at all the views that he's getting, he's probably making up to 50 to 100K just off of these commissions alone every single month, which is huge, and it's something that you should definitely be looking out for as a coach, consultant, or an agency owner with an established audience. For the main landing page, he's not running one of those basic free training funnels. Obviously, he's running the same thing, but he's trying to make it a bit different here. As you can see, a big title at the top, and then watch this video to learn how easy it really is. I love the personalization that he's added to this page. It looks very, very nice and extremely different from the competition. For the actual video, you can see it's more of a confirmation video. Obviously, it's completely white here, but on the actual page, it's about 1 minute and 30 seconds long, and it's just hyping up the main video and getting you to kind of click on the button and just join his funnel as fast as physically possible. He's also added a little bit of a social proof right here, 177 plus brand builders, tapping into that tribal sense that humans have, where they want to be part of a tribe, a clan, and they want to belong somewhere. And then finally, he's also got the Typeform right here on the actual page embedded, so it's as easy as possible to use. After you actually fill out this Typeform, he's actually then only going to send you over to the main page where you can watch the main VSL with the same exact title, obviously same exact thumbnail, all that jazz. And then you'll see same exact social proof, book a call. Underneath that, you'll see our students are capitalizing on the digital gold rush. A ton of success stories. Hypertape, Evil Goods, Pet's Choice, all these people and their brands, Lexi, Dylan, and also adding in the picture of the product, adding in the name of the brand, the logo, and all that jazz is extremely important, especially if you're trying to do these text testimonials and not having any video testimonials, which is something I noticed that Rob the Bank did not have here. I wish he did have some kind of video testimonials on this page, but obviously he's done way more stuff really, really well, resulting in very, very high conversion rates. As you can see, he's also added in his story here. Proof this works for everyone. Screenshots, more types of social proof. No video testimonial, sadly, but these obviously do work really, really well. I really do love the specific part on the page because it's just a ton of social proof. And the small little things that he's added, having all of these logos and these books and these names, they just add more believability, which again, we're in a trust recession. You've heard this a ton of times, but we are in a trust recession and you need to find creative ways to show that you are different from the competition. And this is one of the ways that Rob is doing it right here. And so after that, you are going to be funneled into a straight Calendly link. I would love if he could reduce the amount of days that are available. If they can book into literally a week into the future, it's going to be extremely bad for his closers because obviously they're going to probably forget or something's going to happen in between, which is going to result in them not buying from you. Obviously, if you do the email sequences right, as Jeremy Haynes also talks about, if you get the email sequences right, you do the hammer them strategy, all that jazz, you can actually get them to show up for this stuff, but it'll just overall be more effective if you reduce the amount of days, which coincidentally is the exact same stuff that I do for my clients. And I tell them how to do all of these things in full detail, and I literally do it completely for them, so they don't even have to lift a finger except for doing all the promotion. And so if you're a coach, consultant, or an agency owner with an existing following and you want to start converting more people, getting more money from your existing audience, growing your audience faster because you can focus on content, or you just want to stop wasting time dealing with the pain in the ass of a back end that you have to keep optimizing to actually just stay afloat, then go ahead and check the first link down below where you can book in a free funnel analysis call. Or if you want, you can go ahead and check out my Instagram link down below and just directly DM me and we can start talking and book in a call from there as well. And so that was Rob the Bank, or Robert Oliver's $789,000 per month sales funnel, broken down into the nitty gritty. We went over exactly how he structures his TikTok, his Instagram, and his other Instagram account, all to maximize the number of people that are seeing his content and also nurturing these people, and how he actually converts them through these platforms. We also covered how his YouTube funnel is his strongest funnel and is where he's actually converting the most leads and how valuable his audience actually is, as well as the two funnels that he uses in his YouTube to maximize conversions, including his main VSL funnel and the secondary story funnel that work equally well, if not better than each other in some circumstances. How he's structuring his social proof and how he could actually improve all of that, as well as how he structures his Calendly page and how he could improve on that as well. And so I hope you got a ton of value from that video. If you have any other suggestions for people's funnel for me to go ahead and break down on one of these videos, leave them in the comments. I read literally all of my comments, and your video idea might be in my next video. If you have any ideas on how to improve the content, don't leave them in the comments. Feel free to leave them in my DMs and I will go ahead and iterate accordingly. And obviously, if you want to work with me, links down below, Instagram links down below as well. Just go ahead and DM me or check out the landing page if you feel like it. And lastly, if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to watch another one of my videos, go ahead and check this one out right here because YouTube thinks that you'll like it. If you want to watch the whole funnel breakdowns playlist with probably upwards of $500,000 worth of sauce just in this one playlist, check it out right over here by clicking this button right here. And if you want to go ahead and check out the subscribe button and go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, you can go ahead and do that right here. Hoping to see you in this next video. Goodbye.